So, welcome back to the show. I'm very excited to be back today. It's the first episode of season 2 on Her New Lens, and it's January 7th. And everyone's probably been thinking about what they're going to do for New Year's, what their New Year's resolutions are, how they want to embrace this new year. And it's actually a great time to think about that a little bit differently and see if at the end of this year we can achieve different outcomes. A lot of what I've been reading lately and learning about in my own life is it's really more about who we are being that attracts clinging to external goals that are possibly out of reach if you are not aligned with them on the inside. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. And also, I want to mention something about my husband. This reminded me of him when I was preparing the show. He always says inputs and outputs. That's his theme. He always says, focus on inputs, let the outputs take care of themselves. And so it's kind of the same idea. It's like focusing on the inputs is really about focusing on what energy am I inputting, am I cultivating, am I nurturing, versus focusing on that external metric, because it's a lot more likely to occur and we have way more empowerment to focus on our inputs and do the things we need to do daily, and then the outputs will match. And that brings me right to this topic today about intention and what intention means. So I'm going to start just by talking a little bit about the cultural pressure of January. It's just a lot, and it's so easy, as we all know, to get discouraged when we are not achieving and we're falling off the wagon, so to speak, within a week of January, which is tomorrow. This reminds me of James Clear and his book, Atomic Habits. I don't know if you've read that, but it's such a useful book, but how he talks more about systems than goal setting that determines progress, and how when you want a certain thing to happen, you have to set up the system so that you can achieve it. And a quote he has is, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." Okay, that's pretty great. And goals are good for setting a direction, but systems are best for making progress. So, setting up systems, that is something we do inwardly. One thing that I know from coaching is that for each person, that is different. And each person has extremely unique needs, a path they must follow. There is no prescriptive way to do this. It is just taking the time, even just one afternoon on a Sunday, and just assessing what can I do to set systems up so that I can embody this and the intentions I have for this year. And just doing that and practicing that, getting that system honed and comfortable, can be your best friend as you're moving through the year with a fresh new start right now and moving definitively in the direction that you want to go. So I think that's really helpful. And next, I just want to talk for a minute about, what does intention really mean? Well, it's an inner posture. It is not a to-do list. Intention is, how am I being? How do I show up? What is my whole energy? What am I bringing to this? That's what we're talking about. How am I going to be and show up in 2026? That is my intention. And within that, there are different areas we'll be exploring. This month, we're going to be talking about burnout. We're going to be talking about energy healing. We're going to be talking more about finding love. But it's really about, what is the cumulative energy and totality of what I'm carrying with me when I enter every single room this year? What is my intention? When I'm alone, when I'm by myself, what am I doing? What is the guiding light? What is the North Star? So this is a great time to think about it and think about, If you have your list of goals and you look at them, think, what is the intention I can embody and carry that's going to get me in the direction of these goals in the most direct way? What is the intention underneath your actions, choices, behaviors? That's the question I'm challenging you to ask. So, without intention, goals can lead to burnout because, again, back to James Clear, we're focusing on the goal, but we don't have the system. And we get that negative reinforcement every day that we're not achieving that goal, and it's going to burn us out. So we really can choose to dedicate more time on creating the system that's in alignment with the goal. And on the other side, with intention, goals become flexible, goals become achievable because we're moving forward with intention in the direction of our goals. So, one thought I have now is my intention is to be present because everything is moving so quickly. Like everything is just happening so fast. And I really want to be present. I don't want to miss this year. I don't want to miss this day. I don't want to miss this moment. So, this presence, I'm leaning into that as being my intention for the year. And he says in The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle says in The Power of Now, be present as the watcher of your mind, of your thoughts and emotions, as well as your reactions in various situations. Be at least as interested in your reactions as in the situation or person that causes you to react. Notice how often your attention is in the past or future. Ding, ding, that's a big one. Don't judge or analyze what you observe. Watch the thought, feel the emotion, observe the reaction. Don't make a personal problem out of them. You will then feel something more powerful than any of those things that you observe. The still observing presence itself behind the content of your mind, the silent watcher. So that, I'm just going to take a moment and let that sink in. But that is intention, is presence, willing to show up with presence and to be present to the life I have and be present to what's happening in my life and what's happening in the moment. So I just thought I'd share that with you because that's my intention. A question I have for you, I want you to reflect on how do you want to feel as you move through your days this year? So, what quality do you want to bring in? What is lacking right now? And if you really sit with this for 2 minutes, you'll probably have a word jump right out. What quality do you want to bring in to how you work, how you make decisions, how you live daily? And in these situations, I'm encouraging you to come up with a word that embodies where you want to be and how you want to be this year. Another thing I love about intention is it's something you return to. It's not something you perfect. I'm guilty of this. That's probably why I keep bringing this up. But when I have something that I think I should achieve, I get very discouraged when I'm not achieving it. And I'll give up. I'll get really frustrated. But the intention, the building of the intention is something you can just keep coming back to and addressing the system, revisiting it once a week. How is the system working? How can it be tweaked? It's a flexible system that can be changed. And so there's a comfort there and there's a more relaxed energy with intention than there is with the goal setting. And allowing intention to guide decisions moment to moment, because sometimes we have our best set plans and life has other plans, and we learn to navigate those changes moment to moment, guided by our intention that we are setting right now. It gives us the strength to navigate these plans that are changing. It gives us kind of a soft shelter to turn to when we need it. And that is probably the most wonderful thing about intentions. And another one is trusting that clarity unfolds through presence, not pressure. So back to presence again. the little clue that's telling us to change something that's taking us a bit off course, that's going to come to us in presence. It's not going to come to us when we're striving too hard for the goal. So it's something that will come to us if we're able to be present, open to learning from our own selves, being kind to ourselves. It's a lot of work, it's effort, trying to live mindfully, thoughtfully, trying to set intentions. It takes commitment and giving yourself that credit and just realizing, you know what, I'm showing up here for myself. I want to do this because when I show up better for me, I show up better for everyone else in my life. And it's a worthy effort, but I just want to say I got to give myself credit. I hope you give yourselves credit for trying to do the work to have more intention and have intention lead. So this is probably the best analogy I can share as we close this conversation. There is a book called The Art of Possibility, and I love it. I read it in one day. It's really good. And there's a section in it where they talk about a board, and it's about how you can be the board. And it says here, I'll read the quote. The purpose of naming yourself as the board or as the context in which life occurs to you is to give yourself the power to transform your experience of any unwanted condition into one in which you truly care to live. So I love this because for me, I interpret that literally as a vision board or a mood board. And imagine cutting images of everything you want and placing it on this vision board. But then for a moment, instead of looking at those objects and images and places and things, thinking about that you are the board itself. And does this board carry the energy of endless possibility, of hopefulness, of gratitude? Or does the board carry a gloom and doom energy? Because these things are all going to be affected by that board. And my interpretation when I see this is that board is intention because it underlies everything that's going on the board. And just being aware of that intention, and it could make a huge difference. So, did you enjoy this conversation? What is your intention for this year? I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I cannot wait to share season 2 with you.